Will AI replace software engineers in 2026? Or will AI replace engineers ever? I don't think that's the case right now. I think AI has been helpful with productivity in getting things done a lot faster. And if you're the engineer that thinks that is going to take your job or it's going to replace engineers, it's a valid fear to have, but I'm here to tell you that that's not the case right now. The engineers that are going to be replaced, in my opinion, are the ones that are not using AI and just relying on code itself. Because think about it, you could run an AI agent to look at a problem in your code base, understand the context of that problem, and give you the answer based on the knowledge that it knows about your project already and how you could go about solving the problem with multiple ways to do it. And you could choose as an engineer which route to go. And I think that's amazing. You don't have to go on Google. You don't have to search for different things, go on Stack Overflow. Everything is within your IDE or agent that tells you everything that needs to be done. Also, if you're trying to get a project up and running, you don't want to deal with any boilerplate. You don't want to deal with just writing a bunch of nonsense and testing things and spending so much time trying to do all that stuff. You could have AI just do that for you. You prompt it exactly what you want it to do, and then it goes on and builds it for you. And then you could cross-check it to make sure everything is fine and then re-prompt to say, hey, can you make adjustments here? Can you change this? And this makes it easier for you as a developer to look at other requirements that are more important, like the system design aspect of it. What needs to be done there? We still need developers to understand systems, point blank, period. AI could give you guidance on where you should go, but ultimately, if you're able to understand how a system works and what should help your project along the way with the system design and how everything is architected, is going to be easier enough for you to just put all the pieces together. But AI doesn't really have the context to do that. Now, if you were to reprompt it in a certain way, it could probably get you there, but you still need a developer to understand the mindset of how a system should work. Because you have to understand security, right, with the system. If you don't have security around your system and you're having AI vibe code that out because you think that this is the case and that you don't have to code anymore, trust me, you're going to run into a lot of vulnerabilities and a lot of people are going to be affected. So my biggest advice here is that you can use AI to help you understand the scope of the system that you're trying to build, and then based on your own knowledge, start building around that, understand the security impact, start understanding some of the edge cases that could happen with your system. AI has been a godsend for me. I love it. I use Claude Code mostly now to build out projects quick. I could prompt Claude Code to build this application for me and get it to the right spot. There's a couple applications that I built that I've showcased on this channel just with Claude. And all I had to do was give it a few prompts and I changed things on my own as well. And I was able to get a demo up and running in no time. Because at first I would have to build everything out, try to figure things out, do everything myself. And now I have the ability to use AI to help me with that. So I think it's good if you know how to use AI to your advantage. The only problem that I see with it is if you are using it just for vibe coding. You're not reading through any of the lines of code. You're not understanding exactly what the flow is of your code. And then when it comes to a production issue and you're relying on AI to give you that answer, you're going to be shit out of luck. Let's just keep it real. All right. So that's why it's good to always proofread your code, make sure that everything is all good. And then you can also use AI to review that code before it gets into production, but you still have to have that mindset to understand the project that you're building. AI can't deal with judgment. You could prompt it and then it could give you valuable feedback, and it's based on your discretion to take that feedback or not. If the requirements are ambiguous and you had AI just write everything for you and you're not questioning things, you're probably not going to have a good application or a feature that you're trying to build. So you need to know exactly what you need to build. You need to understand the requirements. Be better at prompting if there's any gaps here that you haven't seen yet. As you're testing the application and you're going through the paces, if you find any gotchas, and trust me, you will find a couple issues, that you work around it and make sure that the code is good enough to where you could fix these problems effectively. Understand the fear of AI and why engineers fear that it might be taking over for engineers. I totally get it, but you have to understand, in my opinion, engineers that are going to be affected is the ones that are just using AI to write code and not really understanding the process of the code, how it functions, and just overall your application that you're building, and the ones that are just coding right now without using any AI tool. There's two differences there. One is just vibe coding, and the other is just relying on their own skill to build everything out and taking the load of working on a feature because they have the skill to do it. But if you were to give AI context around how you do things, it will make it easier for you to work on other important areas of your app that need your attention. And then have AI work on the smaller things. Who's gonna win in this AI game is the ones that are using AI to help with design and communication around what needs to be done. Even though the job market, depending on what you're looking for, is pretty rough, and I've heard many of stories from other engineers in the space that they can't find a job because AI is taking over. It depends on what position that you're looking for. If you're looking for an entry-level position, it's way harder now to get into a company or find a job because AI could do all the easy things. More experienced engineers using AI as a personal assistant to help them with projects and understanding the context of a project and figuring out easy ways to create commands to help you with committing a message to your branch, reviewing your code for a PR, planning out what your project is gonna be and have AI work on all the little small things and looking at the prompts and making sure that the code itself actually looks good. These engineers are gonna strive using AI and learning different AI tools, spending your time on one tool versus the other, and making a definitive decision on what AI tool is gonna help you the most is gonna bring more value, because now it's all about prompting and understanding what kind of code is being generated. If you understand those two things, prompting and the code and the standards around that code, you should be fine. AI is not gonna take everybody's job as an engineer, trust me. I had that feeling too. When I was first introduced to ChatGPT, I thought it was the coolest thing in the world, and I was dead set against it because I felt like I was cheating. I was using AI to help me build something, but then I realized it's only aiding in me learning more than it is reducing my knowledge on certain things. It's actually helped me take the load off of all the pressure of working on a project and making sure that I have the right estimates to get things done. Now I can use AI to help me with the small little things, and then all the bigger stuff like back-end work, making sure that the workflow is correct. That's something that I work on. And then I have it review everything. If there's any stop gaps that I didn't think about, then I would prompt that and work in tandem with AI to finish out a project, and it's worked wonders. So that's my take on AI. I think it's a great tool for productivity and getting things done a lot faster. You need to understand the implications of using AI without any guardrails, how to set those guardrails so that you are not compromised in any way, so anything that you prompt is not used by AI itself to then help other people, and how you're able to effectively solve problems and not get stuck in this hallucination loop, which does happen to a lot of people. So if you understand those things and you do the research on AI and try it yourself, I think it should help all engineers, and it should help other people that are not in the tech space as well, all right? So that's it, guys. That's the video. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Let me know your take on AI. Have you been using it? Have you been dead set against it? What's your take?